This is the largest house in America, and this is me standing outside of the largest house in America, aka the Biltmore Estate. The Biltmore Estate is located in Asheville, North Carolina in the Blue Ridge Mountains. The total size of the Biltmore property is approximately 8,000 acres, which is equivalent to around 12 miles. Now, the estate itself, the house, the crown jewel of the Prop OT, if you will, is 175,000 square feet, which is comprised of 250 rooms, 35 bedrooms, 43 bathrooms, and 65 fireplaces. Does this house seriously need 65 fireplaces? Probably not, but you know, rich people tings. The walls of the Biltmore also contain more than 11 million bricks. Now, when I toured the house, what was even crazier to me than the size of the property was how many people actually lived in the house. The largest house in America was home to a family of 3 people. 3 people and their servants. Now, if that's not crazy enough, the largest house in America was built by a 25-year-old, a single 25-year-old at that, named George Vanderbilt, but we will refer to him as Georgie. Now, Georgie decided to build the Biltmore Estate when he first visited Asheville, North Carolina with his mom when he was single at the age of 24 years old. He was not married with any kids. Now, you may be wondering, just like I was, why in the hell would a single 25-year-old with no wife and no kids want to build the largest house in America? Well, today's your lucky day, my friend, because I'm going to answer that exact question in this video. I'm also going to bring you guys into the inside of the house and share some of the most mind-boggling historical facts about this estate. And make sure to stay all the way till the end, as I'm going to share with you how the Biltmore went from being home to one of the wealthiest families in the world to then becoming a tourist attraction for the city of Asheville without any residents living in the house in less than 50 years. Cue British theme narration. Chapter 1. The beginning. Our adventure begins in 1794 when a man named Cornelius Vanderbilt is born. Although Cornelius was just a man, some considered him a god. Now, Cornelius' grandson, George Washington Vanderbilt, aka Georgie, is the one who actually constructed and built the Biltmore in 1895. However, all the initial wealth that the Vanderbilt family had came from good old Cornelius. Cornelius built a transportation empire in the steamship and railroad industries, which made him, and excuse my French, fuck you rich. When Cornelius died in 1877, his $100 million plus fortune was more than the U.S. Treasury held at the time, making Cornelius the richest man in America. Some speculate that at the peak of Cornelius's wealth, his net worth was equivalent to $215 billion in 2024. My man's Elon Musk is not even worth $215 billion. Chapter 2. George Washington Vanderbilt, creator of the Biltmore. In 1888, at the age of 25, George visited Asheville, North Carolina for the first time and fell in love with the beauty of the area. He purchased 125,000 acres for what would later become his country estate. 125,000 acres is equivalent to 95,000 football fields. Freaking almost forgot. Well, it is not clear in my research that Georgie Boy specifically set out to build the largest house in America at the time. Rather, George's vision for the Biltmore was twofold. He wanted a home where he could relax and entertain friends and family. He also wanted a self-sustaining estate that would nurture the land and its resources for generations to come. Hence why the original agriculture operations of the Biltmore included its own dairy production operation, sheep, hog, and poultry farms, and a substantial garden for produce. After 6 long years of construction, the Biltmore was finally completed in 1889. Although the exact cost of building the estate is not known, some speculate that if the entire estate were built today, meaning the house, its furnishings, the rare artwork, and everything else on the estate, it would cost billions of dollars. Chapter 3. The inside of the cribbo. When you first enter the Biltmore, you will see the Winter Garden. The Winter Garden is absolutely stunning with beautiful architecture. Like, how did they even make wood like this in 1895? It's literally mind-blowing. Near the Winter Garden, you'll find the banquet hall. The banquet hall has a 40-foot table that sits 5,000 people. Okay, it doesn't actually sit 5,000 people. I really don't know how many people it sits. I tried counting the number of seats that were all there when I was there, but I kept losing track because there was like so many seats. One of the coolest rooms I saw when I was there was the billiards room. I didn't know what billiards was, but it is pretty much a game that is similar to pool. We were told that these tables weigh over 1 ton. I don't remember whether it was 2 or 3 tons. I just remember saying, holy shit, these are some heavy tables. Speaking of pools, the Biltmore has a massive pool that can hold 70,000 gallons of water. The Biltmore also has this super sick bowling alley that is believed to have been the first private bowling alley ever created. The first passenger elevator in North Carolina to ever be built is also located in the Biltmore. A working elevator operated by electricity in 1895 is absolutely mind-blowing. I mean, seriously, think about this. The first automobile wasn't even created yet, and my man's Georgie had not one. What the hell? And my man's Georgie had not one, but 2 elevators in his crib. That is crazy. Speaking of electricity, the Biltmore was actually one of the first houses in America to be completely operated using electricity. Vanderbilt's homeboy was actually my man, Thomas Edison, and Edison helped George create a plan that would allow the Biltmore to operate off electricity. There were actually 5 refrigerators installed in the Biltmore, and all of them operated off of electricity as well. There are so many other astonishing things about the Biltmore that make it so interesting. From the Biltmore art collection that consists of more than 92,000 items that date all the way back to 1500 AD, including art from Monet, to these super dope and detailed sculptures. Like, how did these dudes create these sculptures all the way up here? I have no idea. It's so baffling to me. There are also secret passageways and hidden doors located all throughout the Biltmore. These passageways were designed to help George Vanderbilt's guests and the Biltmore staff navigate efficiently and privately from common areas to other rooms in the house. One thing I loved the most about the Biltmore Estate was the views. There were numerous hiking trails I went on, which were beautiful and very peaceful. The gardens and grounds were beautiful as well, especially the conservatory, which had all types of diverse plants. Top to full, I forgot to put a title. We'll just call it... We're just going to skip that part. So how does the Biltmore go from being home to one of the most wealthiest families in America to becoming a tourist attraction that is open to all of the public in less than 50 years? Well, I'm so glad you asked, because I'm literally going to answer that question right now. In 1914, at the age of 51, Georgie V passed away. In 1930, George Vanderbilt's daughter, Cornelia, and her husband, John Cecil, opened the Biltmore House to the public in response to requests from the city of Asheville to increase tourism in the area during the Great Depression. This milestone was a fundamental shift in the way the public was able to experience the Biltmore. Previous to this, only select guests of the Vanderbilts were fortunate enough to see the inside of the Biltmore Estate. Cornelia and John believed that sharing George's life work with the public was a way to honor his death and preserve the estate, as managing the estate was quite costly, especially during the Depression. Because of George Vanderbilt and his family, we are able to experience some of the most magnificent advancements in construction, art, and sustainability that have been preserved for almost 130 years. Now, if you want to watch another one of my travel documentaries, you actually can't, because this is my very first one. But what you can do is subscribe so I can start making a little bit of that cheddar cheese so that I can start making some more of these fun videos for you guys. I mean, bro, like, subscribe if you want. Like, I don't care. Like, I don't, it's your choice, right? So, please subscribe. I put a lot of work in this video. I've been putting a lot of work in this channel. Please, for the love of God, please, it's free. Just subscribe, please. Thank you so much for your time. Always remember, wisdom is free and knowledge is power. And until next time, take it easy.